Okay, I'm about to make rice noodles. So the first thing I did was I added 400 grams of rice flour to my pot. And then I'm going to add 120 grams of tapioca flour or tapioca starch. Then I'm going to add 640 grams of water. And I've turned my pot up to medium heat. And I'm just going to start mixing my ingredients until it's smooth and there's no lumps. Keep mixing until it's smooth and there's no lumps. On medium heat. Just gonna try and get everything off the sides to get all the residue off. Keep mixing so I know there's no more residue at the bottom and it's completely smooth. All right, it's completely smooth, no lumps, and there's no residue at the bottom. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just start mixing it with my spatula, with my plastic spatula. And I'm going to keep mixing it over the heat, over like medium heat until lumps start to form. And then once it starts to form lumps, I'm going to take it off the heat and mix it until it's smooth. Oh, so as you can see, lumps are starting to form. So now I'm going to turn my heat down to low, take this off the heat, and I'm gonna keep mixing it until I get rid of the lumps. I'm going to mix it until I get all the lumps are gone, off the heat, till there's no more lumps. See, there's still lumps on there. See those lumps? So I'm gonna mix it all out while it's off the heat until there's no more lumps. Okay, as you can see, there's no more lumps. Make sure there's no more lumps. I want to make sure there's no more lumps. Now I'm going to slide it back on the heat. That's low. It's on low heat now, and I'm going to keep mixing it until lumps form again. See, lumps are starting to form again. So now I'm going to take it back off the heat. Keep mixing it until there's no more lumps. See those lumps? Take it back off low heat. Keep mixing it until there's no more lumps. That's on low heat. See those lumps are going away? You want to keep constantly mixing this? Yep, until there's no more lumps. Off the heat. And you just want to keep repeating this process over and over again. See, now there's no more lumps. Now I can put it back on the heat. See, lumps are forming again. So I'm going to take it off the heat and keep mixing it. And I'm going to just keep repeating this process over and over and over again until it gets thick enough. Now, as you can see, it's starting to thicken. Starting to get pretty thick. There's no lumps. And what I've been doing was I've been taking the lumps and smashing them up against the side of the pan like this in order to eliminate the lumps. Any lumps you see, you just drift them across and smash them up against the side of the thing. See how thick the mixture's starting to get without lumps? Starting to get thicker. Now I just put it back right back on the low heat. Keep mixing it. It's almost there. Okay, my mixture is just about ready. As you can see how thick it is. How thick it has become. Maybe a couple more minutes and it'll be ready. See how thick it is? Almost thick enough. Now you'll know it's thick enough because you'll see one bead fall from the spatula and you'll see it keep dripping. Yep, now that's how you know it's thick enough. Because you'll see this one bead. Watch this, hold on. Hold on, you'll see one bead drop from the spatula. Let me show you, hold on, let me show you again. So I'll scoop out a big section of it One bead will drop, and you'll see the rest just dangling down like that. That's how you know it's thick enough. So now what I did was I cut my heat off. I had a pot of water boiling the whole time. So the rice noodle, this is ready. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to immediately take my piping bag, put it over my my cup, because you have a very short window to do this. Very short period of time. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my rice pudding, or my rice flour. I'm going to take my batter, and I'm going to add it to my piping bag. I'm going to add it to my piping bag. Scrape as much out of here as I can. And add it to my piping bag. Add to my piping bag. As much as I possibly can scrape out of here, I'm going to scrape out as quickly as I can, because you only have like 30 seconds to do this, to scrape all this out, and then add it to your pan, to your piping bag. All right, so once I've gotten as much of this out as I can, which I've done. As I said, I've been boiling this pot of water the entire time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the top off of my water. I'm going to take my piping bag. With my, so the tip that I'm using for the piping bag is like a round tip for noodles. So now I'm just going to start spraying them. In like a circular pattern. Yep, just keep spraying them in like a circular pattern. As continuously as I can. Now this might have been the wrong tip, because this tip's a little bit too skinny. Yeah, this tip's a little skinny. Probably should have used a tip that's a lot thicker than this. Okay. Yeah, I just used the wrong tip. So the noodles are coming out a little thicker than I want them to, because it's the wrong tip. But they're coming out fine. Just didn't have the right tip. I didn't put the right tip in the bag. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix my noodles. I'm gonna mix my noodles around. Then I'm gonna put them in a after I mix them around. I'm gonna now soak them in ice water. So I'm gonna remove them from the heat. Then I'm gonna strain them. I'm gonna strain them out of, pour them into my strainer. Pour them into my strainer. See, these are my rice noodles right here. They just came out way too thick because I didn't use the correct piping bag. Or I didn't use the correct tip on my piping bag. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my noodles and I'm going to put them in my ice water. And these came out fine. As you can see, they hold their texture. See how thick they are? Yep, these came out just fine. They came out fine. I just didn't use the correct piping bag. Or the correct... You just gotta make sure you use the right tip. See, this tip was way too small. But other than that, they came out fine. That's what you want.